Coming to you from an undisclosed location somewhere deep on the windswept prairies of Oklahoma, I'm your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. Today is September 27th. This is On the Trail of the Nephilim. Coming to you from an undisclosed location somewhere deep in the heart of the Santa Monica Mountains, I'm your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli, and this is On the Trail of the Nephilim. Our lead story today, I want to circle back to the Serpent Mound. I think you'll find the two stories I'm going to talk about, or the 2 points about the Serpent Mound. Highly charged site, we'll get into that, and so much more after a word from our sponsor, Multi-Collagen. Collagen has taken the world over by storm, and for a good reason. It's the one supplement that's becoming widely known for its fountain of youth-like benefits. A consistent collagen routine has been shown to help reduce wrinkles and rejuvenate skin. But there's a problem. Collagen supplements found on store shelves may be packed with low-quality ingredients that often do more harm than good. This is why I love Multi-Collagen. Users report a more youthful appearance, decreased wrinkles, thicker hair, healthier nails, and pain-free joints within days of taking this magical product. I highly recommend healthwithla.com. Try it today for 51% off by going to www.healthwithla.com. That's www.healthwithla.com, or by visiting the link below. All right, if you want to go see the full Monty, what I really think about everything, you got to go to our Rumble account. Best thing you do is just download the free app by going to our website, lamarzulli.net. Download the free pp&s app. Never miss another show. We're on Rumble, Roku, and Bitchute, although Bitchute's kind of getting really hard to upload. But if you want the full Monty, that's where you've got to go. In the meantime, we are on the trail of the Nephilim. And if you're interested at all in the Genesis 3:15 narrative, Genesis 6 narrative, this is the place to come. What you are looking at is an aerial view of we flew a drone there. It's about 800 feet up. And when you're down on the ground walking next to the serpent, you have no idea what you're looking at. When I was there the first time, I had just come back from Peru. So I'm going like, well, I don't see what the big deal is here. I didn't get it. I mean, I did not get it the first time I was there. Second time when we flew the drone, it was like, oh my gosh. Because what you see is this serpent undulating in the Ohio landscape. It is the largest serpent mound that we're aware of. There's another one allegedly in Israel, and that may be the largest serpent mound on the planet. But right now, this is the one. This is the largest serpent effigy that we have on planet Earth. What is it doing there? That serpent has its mouth wide open in the act of eating, destroying, swallowing an egg. This hails back to Genesis 3:15. You've heard me talk about this before, but you know what? We get a lot of new viewers here every day. And thank you for leaving the comments, by the way. All these wonderful comments telling us that, you know, how you love the show and you're happy we're doing this. And it's, thank you. We need to hear that kind of a feedback because it's a different show. We're doing 2 shows every day. So Genesis 3:15, I'll just state this briefly. You've got, here's the scene in the garden. Adam and Eve have just blown it. They've sided with the dragon. The dragon's over here. Pre-incarnate Jesus is in the garden, turns to the dragon and goes, your seed, your offspring, will be at enmity with the offspring, the seed of the woman. He, the Messiah, the one coming from the seed of the woman, will crush your head. You will bruise his heel. That sets up the rest of the biblical prophetic narrative. Who is the Antichrist, if not the son of perdition? Think about that. But backing up thousands of years, in Genesis 6, there's this seed eruption. And I realized, oh, that can't possibly happen. Angels can't procreate. It says right here, we'll be like the angels in heaven. I get that. We're not given in marriage. Nowhere does it say that the angels cannot procreate. In fact, the early church fathers, the Jewish rabbis, all believe, like I do, that the unthinkable did happen, which resulted in the flood. You know, the God of the Bible just doesn't wake up on a Monday morning and goes, I think I'm going to wipe out everybody on planet Earth because I'm really tired of these human beings. No. He does this because of the seed war, because of the protocols of the heavenly fight that we see, which are not really written. We get a taste of it when we go to Daniel, when the angel appears to Daniel and says, hey, it took me 21 days to get through. I had to fight the Prince of Persia, had to go back and get reinforcements with Mike and the boys. How do they fight? We're not told. Why can't he do an end run? We don't know. But we get this little glimpse of the heavenly war. In the book of Revelation, we know that Michael and his angels fight with Satan, it is, and I call it the great eviction. The dragon is finally cast out, where? The second heaven. And woe to the inhabitants of earth. That's future. It hasn't happened yet, in my opinion. But back to this. What we see is that serpent with its mouth wide open. What is it doing? Destroying the egg. I mean, it screams at you. And all these undulations of the serpent, they point to, get this now, they point to the solstices and the equinoxes. That mouth that's open opens up to the summer solstice. This is deliberate. Native Americans did not do this, in my opinion. Now, Chief Wallace, in one of our shows, very first show, Mysterious Mound Builders, Mathematical Mysteries of the Mound Builders, Chief Wallace comes on the record and says that the Shawnee knew about the Serpent Mound, but they didn't construct it. Now she's flipped, and I'd love to get her on the show. Maybe Chief Joseph or everyone can arrange that and tell us why she's telling us a different story than what she did several years ago. I don't have an answer to that. So here's what I want to talk about. One, Henry Gruver. And this is going to go on most of the week, all right? So Henry Gruver is a guy that is, this is years ago, and I want to thank Steve Quayle. We have the audio of it in the show. The audio is Secrets of the Supernatural Volume 3 is where it's from. And then Steve Quayle did this audio with Henry Gruver years ago, and Steve was kind enough to let us use the audio for the presentation in episode 3. So this is all brought to life here by Wesley Sangiorgi, who did CGI, computer-generated imagery. So the backstory is this. Gruver is returning home the night before Thanksgiving, all right? He's been out for about 60 to 90 days. He's been praying over the mound sites, these ancient ritualistic sites where he believes human sacrifice is taking place. As he's driving back, he gets this glimpse, a signage, Serpent Mound, you know, so he makes a detour. And he goes to the Serpent Mound, he gets out of the car, and that's mistake number one. And I'm not going to give away the punchline on today's show. But he goes there, and he does he gets to the head, walks up on the head, and begins to pray over the Serpent Mound, casting and asking forgiveness of the ritualistic sacrifice that was done here, repenting of it, of the shed blood on the site. And he goes through the whole litany, and on the way back to the car, something very dramatic happens, and we'll get into that tomorrow. So, here's something to think about. In 2011, Hunbat's Men, who was one of the Mayan elders, one of the chief Mayan elders, by the way, I read his book, he's passed away, but I read Hunbat's Men's book, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on, and then at the very end, it gets into the whole Kundalini serpent thing, which is, as an ex-New Ager, that's where I come from. My third eye was open when I was with the Guru. I went through all that. I'm all too aware of Kundalini serpent power. That's what all these guys are peddling. And Hunbat's Men is no different. And when you finally get to the end of the book, that's what it is. Hunbat's Men, and he passed away several years ago, so he can't defend himself. But in my opinion, this is what it is. Now here's the deal. Why does Hunbat's Men and the other Mayan elders and the 13 crystal skulls, why do they go to the Serpent Mound? What's going on with that? Why are they there? That's what we're going to explore all week. It will be Serpent Mound week. And in the meantime, folks, there's another shot, and I won't tell you what happened there. I'm going to see if I can pull the video from the film. It's very, very eerie. But anyway, this is all from Secrets of the Supernatural, number 3, right here. Secrets of the Supernatural, Voices from the Other Side. You can get all 7 of them by going to streaming.lamarzulli.net, streaming.lamarzulli.net. I have so much material that has never even made it into the films. It's ridiculous, which is why we will probably never run out of material here on the Trail of the Nephilim. There's also, I'll be doing an interview with a gentleman later this week, I believe, who has some incredible information. Wait till you hear the man's story. So moving right along to our UFO discussion. It's ongoing. UFOs are real, burgeoning, not going away. Pentagon UFO unit in the spotlight report mentions off-world vehicles not made on this earth. Gee, if they're not made here, then where are they made from? Remember, Bob Lazar in the 90s talked about his work at Area 51, Groom Lake. That's where he was, all right? Special area. And he was back engineering the propulsion system for the craft. he saw what he coined the sports model. And he went rogue. And he was being monitored. So he went, thank God for George Knapp, because Knapp did the interview and that put him on, basically they just can't take the guy out. That's how the game was played in the 90s. And we'll get into that maybe a little bit later, because everything's changed. Now it's out of the bag. I mean, here it is, Fox News, right? Pentagon UFO unit in the spotlight, report mentions off-world vehicles not made on this earth. This, in my opinion, validates the work of Bob Lazar, who stated decades ago that what he saw was a retrieved crash. In fact, there was some sort of a quid pro quo between them and us, okay? And here we are, moving right along. Here are my trail cam pictures of the UFOs, 12/22/2016. My name is Basil. I'm from Central Michigan. So notice, these are all shots from the game trail. And it's obvious that there is a craft. There's a close-up of it. There's a craft in that field. There it is again. It's not a cloud, it's moving, you can see it. Zooming out of the picture. Absolutely incredible. And thank you, Basil, for sending them to me. So here's the deal. If you've got UFO footage, videos, this is all closing. This here, these shots, it's still close encounters of the first and second kind. This one, I think the craft might be closer than 100 feet. It certainly looks like it to me. It's obviously traveling very fast. Notice it's lit up. It's not a reflection. Another shot of it. Another shot of it. So this is all close encounters of the first kind. And you can see the progression as it moves. Let's do it again. As it's moving across the field where the camera's picking up on the picture. And it's absolutely incredible. If you've got pictures or videos, please send them right here. la@lamarzulli.net, la@lamarzulli.net, and we will read your encounter or show your pictures or videos right here on the Trail of the Nephilim. Anyway, folks, one more thing. LA, I've been watching and listening to you for 10 years. I love your insight and lessons. Well, thank you, sir. I really appreciate it, Jeff. I remember 10 years ago you mentioned that the descendants of the Nephilim would someday suggest a DNA enhancement injection. Do you believe that the current COVID vax is the DNA enhancement you would mention? If so, can you or your staff direct me back to where you first mentioned this so I can share it with friends? Thank you. May God bless your efforts, LA. That's from Jeff. Okay, let's talk about this. Yes, I believe that when they show up, they will have a DNA enhancement. It'll be a chip that will go in the back of the hand or on the forehead. It will change your DNA. They will couch it. And this is conjecture on my part, but it's based on the implant removal. So whoever making these implants, and we've shown this before, maybe we'll circle back to that later in the week and just show you some stills from it. But we're the first Christian research team ever take out an implant. We're it. Nobody else has done it that I'm aware of. No one else has done it. And that put us on the map with the deep state. They didn't like that. But this guy was abducted 45 or about 40 years before. He was then 45 years old when we got to him. And we took out the implant. And I've told the story before, but the truncated version, the Cliff Notes is, when we went to take the thing out, it wasn't there. It was like being cloaked. I prayed against the cloaking, and all of a sudden it appears on the ultrasound machine monitor. Just incredible. So something is going on. Whoever is doing this is spending a lot of time and energy and effort in doing this. So everything that we've talked about circles back to the biblical prophetic narrative, which tells us this, that even the elect would be deceived if that were possible. Folks, something is coming. Oh wait, it's already here. And that, when it actually manifests, when it really just manifests, everything will completely change. The world as we know it will change. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's what's coming. And in fact, in some ways, it's already here. Folks, you can watch the UFO disclosure film for free by going to right here on YouTube. You can also go to Uscreen. It's streaming.lamarzulli.net, streaming.lamarzulli.net. Or if you want the hard copy of a DVD and the book together, $20 basically. UFO disclosure, the 70-year cover-up, expose book and free UFO disclosure DVD, all for $20. So if you want that, please go to our website. When you purchase stuff from our website, you keep things rolling here, and we thank you. We thank you for Patreon and those who sow into our ministry that way. Donations come in, and we thank you for purchasing the resources. We make these resources to educate you. We risk everything to do it, and I mean that. We risk a lot to do what we do, not only from the deep state, but from, let's say, the enemy. And we all know who he is, the dragon. Thanks so much for watching On the Trail of a Nephilim and special UFO report. Remember, if you've got a sighting, please shoot me an email, la@lamarzulli.net. Remember, folks, we'll see you on the air or in the air. Thanks for watching.
I've seen a UFO.
I've seen a UFO.
And I saw a UFO.
A UFO.